Hi, this is Srinivas Gattani. Today is 18th of February 2025. I wanted to talk about the Department of Government Efficiency called Doge in the United States, which has been created, and how is this a huge phenomenon which is happening after a long time or probably has never happened in the history of United States, and why is it so important for the rest of the world as well? So, what does Department of Government Efficiency do? Is it a proper government department? So yeah, it is kind of a advisory department which has been created in this particular uh, Trump era or after the second coming of President Trump. And what is it chartered to do is basically cut government spending as much as possible and replace the ineffective government processes and with technology. So Elon Musk, along with initially with Vivek Ramaswamy and President Trump, has conceptualized this. I think there were other people as well. Like I heard an interview of Mark Andreessen where he talked about that he was also a part of the conceptualization of Doge as an unpaid intern. But so the idea was conceived back, I'm guessing, sometime back in August or September of 2024, and then the details and the shape of how the department would look like came about this January. And so it is very interesting to see how Doge has got teeth across all government departments and the effectiveness with which it commands the existing bureaucracy to give them access to all the systems which are government systems, and then um, they have incorporated a young team of 4 to 5 people who are extremely brilliant with technology and then are also equally good at finding use cases and then very apt with what fits when and where. And then, of course, they have a supervision from Elon directly and the other um, uh, people of the Republican Party as well as some of the existing bureaucrats. So they have been handing over uh, pink slips to many people across many departments. They started with USAID is one of the big ones, which President Trump as well as Elon Musk called as a criminal organization, which had been created 64 years ago and was created for basically uh, increasing American influence across Eurasia and Africa and other parts of the world wherever they wanted to push democracy and have a favorable people's opinion for United States. This was during the Soviet and US Cold War era. And finally, by mid 90s, when the Soviet collapse was complete and the Cold War was over, the USAID, I'm presuming, I'm guessing that became some kind of a loose cannon or a place or an entity which was hijacked by the leftist agencies, primarily in America, and then it was shipped over to the rest of the world, where the American money installed a lot of leftist propaganda people in the west of Europe, in the east of Europe, across Asian countries, wherever US already had influence across the Middle East, Australia, wherever they can possibly. And the gravy train was pretty much unquestioned. There was a lot of money being sent across, and there was a huge amount of corruption to not question what was going on. There's a guy called Mike Benz who has created a huge amount of documentation very recently in the last 2 weeks, and he has digged in and found the malicious practices, how USAID sponsored a lot of harm which America was inflicted back onto the Americans, and a lot of harm which was affecting the rest of the countries with the woke agenda, with having money sent to Iraq, Mozambique, India, China, European countries for all the left wing um, agenda which the right wingers, the Trump administration has been calling kind of a deep state for a very long time. And now and then there was a narrative from the right wing called to drain the swamp. So the swamp has started draining now already. So the fun part is that this time, is this a new thing to have Doge, who have started bringing this kind of an efficiency with such fanfare and so much of transparency across the internet on as and when it happens, you can get like 25 different kinds of update from the Twitter handle on Doge. The legacy media is decimated. They don't have time to really create some kind of a counter narrative, or they don't really know how to stop this, or probably put up some kind of a an opposition to it. So the difference is the technology is cutting edge. That is point number one, and the second is it's a top-down approach. Like the people who are working on the Doge have done a huge amount of homework in the last 10 years, should I say. Or so there are people who know how deep, how what is a big issue in the deep state, and this information has not been held closely by a bunch of people. Like it's not like some 10, 20, 30, 40, or probably 100 people know the depths of it. It has been made available over the internet for a long time. So people who really cared about draining the swamp kind of and have that kind of mentality and were equipped with skills of technology, and then they have already have had a clear understanding of what solution is needed to be undertaken. They have come with 100% homework done, and now they are not letting it go. Actually, they know this is a time, and then they have a period of say probably the 1.5 years. Doge has already been when Doge was created, they already had a sunset date for Doge fixed on 4th of July 2026, I guess. So by that time, Doge will be shut down. So the Doge has to do its work swiftly. In the process, Doge has already been successfully able to shut down the entire USAID operation, which is a $40 billion operation on per annum basis. They already have access to the Pentagon. Now they are already talking about treasuries. Elon Musk and his gang of is already talking about auditing Fort Knox, whether the gold is available or not. And then there has been a lot of chatter about a lot of gold which is being shipped from the UK to US, and nobody knows exactly what the gold is being shipped for. And there's a huge amount of speculation that all of that gold will be going to Fort Knox. Elon yesterday has offered to a tour, a walking live tour of the Fort Knox facility to show whether the gold is available or not. So all these kind of energy is enabling a lot of transparency and accountability at the government's end, the US government. Rest of the governments, big or small, who have been receiving a lot of fund from the US, either from USAID or from other agencies of the US. As Mike Ben said, that USAID was kind of a funding vehicle for a lot of things across the globe which US wanted to undertake via CIA or other agencies, which US didn't really want the rest of the world to know at that time, to protect its image. And so and also the great relation of I mean, he was able to find out that all that money which George Soros foundations, the Open Society and all, were funding in the various countries to bring to harm those countries either financially or running a huge amount of socially woke programs via NGOs or directly creating some kind of a new political parties at place or giving money to existing political parties to bring in crowd, calling it strengthening of democracy and things like that, and funding a huge amount of legacy media across the globe, which one of the German candidates for the president role, Alice Weidel, have called a uni party in Europe. Actually, she called the entire legacy media to behave is behaving as a uni party in tandem with the leftist political parties. She says that all of them are on the same page, same agenda, and probably getting the money from the same sources. So the most of the sources are rooted either from America or the people who have made their balance sheets in the last 2 decades using the money from America, from USAID, from so many other sources. Pretty much the deep state, actually, as it is called. It was such a terrible and dreadful word to use just about 5 to 8 years ago. Now it's common knowledge on Twitter, and everybody is talking about deep state. And because it is being the swamp has started to be drained, and Elon says that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Actually, $40 billion per annum is nothing. The overall spend which government does, the U.S. government did about a spend of $7.5 trillion last year, or probably in 2023, if I am correct. So, out of $7.5 trillion, even if they are able to shave off, say, $2 trillion, which was the original objective for Doge to cut $2 trillion spending from the government's spendings, um, it will really bring down a lot of burden from the taxpayers, because eventually the government will be collecting, in theory, will be collecting a lot less taxes, because the government will be borrowing less money, and then since the borrowings will be less, the repo rates might go down, and eventually the if the repo rates go down, the credit card bills and the bank loans, the mortgages and all will go down. So the groceries might basically the grocery bill will remain the same, but the mortgages and credit card bills will go down, is what Elon said, and it's pretty much on track. So there has been some chatter that the big one is going to be Pentagon, because it's about $1 trillion in itself, or $900 billion to $1 trillion amount of money is spent every year on Pentagon, or probably more. So I don't know whether how far will these guys be allowed to go, or how far would they like to venture. But the energy is pretty interesting. It is making a lot of waves. Um, yeah, so it's a one of a kind experiment, because it looks to be top down as of now. They have created a website where they're posting a lot of transparency things. There have been some murmurs about putting the government spend on the blockchain. So, but there has been no affirmative feedback from the guys who are running Doge. But if the things are taken to the spending programs are put on the blockchain, that will be where the government uh, will be made accountable for a very, very long time, because uh, anything put on blockchains, and effectively public blockchains, which will be accessible to uh, the common man, the people outside, can be which will have kind of a continuous audit mode, and every spend which the government makes can be under a huge amount of scrutiny all the time, is a very interesting concept. So do we, and Doge is the only chance, or probably the start of the chances which are about to come, that if these things really needs transparency and accountability for future, if the US debt has to really come back, if that is even a possibility to manageable levels where the inflation goes down uh, 2%, which the Fed would like to maintain, this is a good chance to do that, where a long-term solution to the corruption within the government can really be arrested. And not only blockchain, with AI, along with blockchain, the AI systems in the US as well as in the China have matured amazingly fast in the last 3 to 4 years. And if an AI system can be put to check that all checks and balances and all the processes which are put in place by Doge or rather advised by Doge and um, done by all the government departments, uh, it will make a sea change. And everybody who think twice to become part of the government. And the the phrase career politicians who have made a career and have amassed a huge amount of wealth just being a politician, by being there and by undertaking pay to play for various agendas, these people will be their power will be curtailed and basically made accountable, and which is the need of the hour. So let me know about your thoughts. Thank you so much.